start with today's talking about BTC on the shorter term time frame. We're going to be starting off on the hourly, right? As you can see, we have seen, we saw a low obviously get put in, we saw a low get put in on the 4th of December, really quite low there, around 41, 42,000. So yeah, really quite low there. And then from there, obviously, we have had that buyback. We have had that that pretty much sideways action that we were talking about yesterday. We were talking about this yesterday, and the chance of us actually basically ranging in sort of a range looking like something along the lines of this was quite high, right? It was quite high, unless we got a nice big investment, right? And as you can see here, we did get that coming through for BTC, and that's obviously given us a bit of a pump, right? Does look like quite a bit of smart money coming through there, and then obviously the retail clients just buying it up, and that's why it's just the trend's just kind of flat, like gone not parabolic, but it's just kind of gone a bit less steep, right? So yeah, as you can see from this point here, we have actually found a level of support in terms of these candle bodies now. So we do have an upward sloping support line. Also, we do have a massive downward sloping resistance line on this top side as well, creating an upward sloping parallel channel, guys. Upward sloping parallel channels. Not too bad. We're looking at a potential breakout to the upside at this point in time. It's going to be very interesting to see how this does actually plan out, right? Because there could be actually a potential long position to be looking out for, right? There could really be something in the air, right? There could be something in the air in terms of a long position here. As I was just saying, we've got the smart money, we've got the dumb money coming through here. We're in the mix of all major moving averages right now, and as you can see here, if we do get above 51,684. Around 684, if we can get above that, then that's probably going to be a very nice long position to be looking out for, because we do have the measure move from this parallel channel on the way up here. As you can see there, we're going to be bringing that up like so. In terms of percentage for that, it's going to be around a 5.78% there. Yeah, it's going to be around a 5.78% there. You just have to bear with me 1 second, guys. Yeah, so my brother's dislocated his knee, so he needs a little bit of support right now. Just got a text from him, so not good. But yeah, so as you can see here, guys, this is going to be a long position I'm going to be looking for the day. If we can get over this 51,684, then that's when I'm going to be looking at basically longing that zone up, and then I'm going to take in profit at this 200 EMA to start off with at 52,510 there. I am long across the board with BTC at this point in time. A lot of my indicators did go long yesterday. Well, not yesterday, literally like today, this morning. They did go a lot of them went long this morning. So it's fingers crossed time, guys, because if this is, like we were talking about yesterday, they think like a whale, you're never going to fail scenario there. And if the whales are going to dump it off a cliff, this is just prime sort of price action that the whales are going to be doing, right? They're going to be doing this, bringing a lot more hope into the air for crypto in general. We're seeing Bitcoin dominance actually taking another leg down, so that's obviously helping out altcoins, giving everyone a little bit more confidence as well. So think like a whale, you're never going to fail. If they're going to be pushing the price down further, they're going to be pulling it back like so to give everyone more confidence and then slamming it right down. So yeah, it's a bit of a gray area at this point in time, considering what's happened and the narrative of crypto in general right now. It's a bit scarce, right? So yeah, this is the position that I am going to be looking for the day, if we can see that actually come through. You know, about yesterday, I made around 1%. Yeah, I made 1% yesterday. Just a little scalp on Bitcoin, but if we do actually see us curl over in this trend, what we are seeing here, guys, if we do see us curl over in this trend, we're actually going to be looking for a level of support around this 50,774 there. That's definitely going to be a point to be looking out for there for Bitcoin. If we can bounce above that, amazing stuff indeed. You could even be looking for an entry point around that zone, and then riding that up to my current entry point there. That would be classed as your first take profit, right? But yeah, in terms of the short term here for Bitcoin, let's have a look at the RSI coming through, because we do have potential for, I think that's changed ever since I did my prep, but yeah, potential for a bearish divergence coming through there. As you can see, we do have high points coming through there, and then yeah, high points coming through there on the RSI, and then higher points, lower points on the RSI. It's creating basically a bearish divergence if that is going to play out. It's not quite confirmed yet, as we don't know how high we're going to go here and whether the RSI is going to catch us up. But if it isn't there and we are going to see rejection coming through there, then we are going to have a bearish divergence on our hands for the 1 hour, which obviously is downward selling momentum there, guys. That's obviously going to push the price down. So that's definitely something to be looking out for as well. Let's talk about the MACD, the macadamia nuts coming through. We're seeing this trend actually fizzle out from this uptrend coming through here. I mean, we do have this insane high. We do have this lower high coming through here, so I would expect some sort of lower trend coming through there. If this trend is going to basically fizzle out, we can actually, what we can do here, we can actually do a trend cycle, guys. A trend cycle coming through is going to look something along the lines of this. And this basically shows us potential reversal points for a trend in the future, right? So if we are going to see a nice big spike in an uptrend again, this is definitely going to be a point to be looking out for there for a reversal for that trend. And if we are going to be looking at live price predictions for that in terms of reversals, it's probably going to correlate fairly well with the 200 EMA as well. And that's another reason why I'm going to be taking a massive lump of profit there as well. And as you can see from these trend cycles, guys, they do plan out fairly well, right? Let's bring that up ever so quickly, right? They do actually plan out fairly well from previous price action here. You can obviously see this high low here, and then you can see we predicted this coming in. The reversal point was there. It was pretty strong. It actually played out perfectly there, and vice versa to this trend cycle as well. Bang, again, played out perfectly as well. So let's just keep that information in our back pocket for later on today. But yeah, in summary, upward sloping parallel channel. We've got a potential bearish divergence. We've got a potential long position coming through there. It's all a bit up in the air. It's all a bit up in the air. But overall, it's not looking the worst scenario in the world, right? It's not looking like the worst scenario in the world. It's nice to see us actually seeing a bit more progression here for Bitcoin rather than these dirty dumps to the downside. But please don't forget, think like a whale. You're never going to fail scenario. Now, let's jump to the midterm here for Bitcoin, because interesting stuff coming through as well there, because it's going to be the same scenario with the bearish divergence coming through. If we are going to see this point on the RSI actually get higher than this current point here, as you can see here, guys, if we're going to see that actually if we're going to see us get higher than this point here, we're going to be forming a bearish divergence, and that's obviously going to be a reversal sort of point to be looking out for there for Bitcoin. I would say just in general, we do have the 55 moving average as well on the midterm there to think about in terms of a level of resistance, and we know how much that can actually form resistance. That's that little green bad boy coming through here. We know the resistance that can actually form. So yeah, let's just be wary of that, guys, and that's going to be around 52,730 to be thinking about there. In terms of this price action channel, which is made up of all major moving averages coming through here, this little channel we've got coming through, let me get rid of that and make it more visually appealing for you guys. Let's get rid of that. As you can see, this parallel channel, not this parallel channel, this price action channel coming through, if we actually get above it, we usually basically trend up, or if we get below it, we tend to trend down, right? So it basically initiates what sort of trend we're going to be in. If the candles are white, it's an undecided sideways sort of ranging area. So as you can see here, guys, we get above it, we bang it, we get below it, we range here, still in this undecided white candle area. We get below it, we trend below it quite strongly, right? And vice versa to the upside, right? So yeah, it's quite an interesting indicator coming through here, quite an interesting thing to be using here. I guess you could say it's kind of like the EMA ribbon, but not quite. It's made up of a lot more moving averages, not just like 5 or 6, right? Takes a nice big average across the board there. As you can see, we are coming into this white sort of section in terms of candle colors here. So that's obviously going to indicate potential ranging opportunities there for Bitcoin, which is going to be quite nice, to be honest, because we need something along the lines of that, because we have seen quite a big pump recently after obviously the insane crash to the downside. We need to actually validate what we have seen over the last day or so, coming all the way from 47,000 all the way up to 51,000. I know you're thinking it's probably not that much considering this dump, but it's better for us to range here than actually be setting a lower high and actually having a correction to the downside, right? We don't want to be doing that. And yeah, this is it's going to be very interesting to see how that does actually plan out for the rest of the day. But yeah, a couple of things to be looking out for there. In terms of moving averages in general, we've got the 55, as I was just saying, to the top side here. And also, we are actually above the 21 moving average as well, which is quite nice to see, because we usually actually find quite a nice support on that or resistance, as you can see there, guys. And that's that little yellow fella, the yellow one coming through there. So yeah, definitely a few things to be looking out for there as well. Moving averages in general, they're quite far apart, so there's no huge indication for a massive move right now, but yeah, it's interesting to see how that is actually going to play out, and I would say probably more sideways action coming through there. In terms of the DMI coming through, this indicator I haven't really showcased to you that much, guys. It is actually saying that we're bearish until we have another crossover from we've got the negative coming through here and the positive coming through. When these guys actually cross over, it indicates basically when we're crossing to the upside with the negative, it indicates basically a downtrend coming through there. And then this ADX line coming through, it tells you how strong the trend is going to be, right? So as you can see here, guys, we have had that crossover. We had that crossover around this area here, basically saying that we're going to have that downtrend coming through. Yes, the ADX wasn't that strong, but yeah, it did play out very, very, very strongly, as you can see. So yeah, that was basically just a clear prediction of what's basically going to happen. And this basically brings me on to what we are seeing now on the DMI here, and that's basically the directional movement index. If you guys did want to go check out this indicator, very, very cool stuff. As you can see here, we're getting ever so close to this. It's in a sense a bullish crossover, right? Because we got the bullish coming from the top side, crossing over with the the positive crossing over with the negative coming through here. And also, we are still very, very strong on the ADX here. So if we are going to get a crossover on the DMI, then it is going to basically be potentially meaning we could actually see some really nice, quite good bullish price action there for Bitcoin. So yeah, we'll just have to see how that goes and monitoring that over the next few, probably the next 10 to 12 hours or so, right? Probably 8 to 12 hours, right? Yeah, definitely a few things to be looking out for there. In terms of, as you can see here, guys, bullish crossover coming through. We've obviously got that upwards momentum coming through from there. Not too bad, not too bad. But yeah, just wanted to showcase that ever so quickly. Moving on to look at the volume. Actually, the volume is actually trending down here on the 4 hour. Let's jump to the midterm and see if we can see a bit of a better gauge on that. No, it's actually gonna be really quite small. Yeah, so let's move back to the midterm. As you can see, the volume is trending down here, guys, quite strongly, and we know what happens when that does actually happen. We're potentially looking for a breakout scenario in terms of the volume there. So yeah, let's see how that happens, whether this candle is going to get above this price action here, this price action channel, and if that is going to happen, then we're probably going to see a potential uptrend. If not, as I said, white candles does mean sideways ranging, right? So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how that is going to plan out for the rest of the day. If we do get above this price action channel, that's going to be very good instigations for our long position, right? Very, very good instigations for our long position here on the shorter term time frame, right? So let's move to the long term. Let's move to the long term. Smashing through this today. Guys, if you are new to the stream, I stream every single day, Monday to Friday, every morning. Give you BTC updates, and then we move through to the altcoins, right? As you can see, very messy chart at this point in time. So let's clear this up right here, right now. As you can see, parallel channel here on the longer term time frame. We have seen massive levels of resistance to the top side here, and that's obviously been pushing us down. All-time highs coming through there as well, pushing us down right to the lower side of this channel. As you can see here, guys, this was the point to break here. We did break that to the lower side there, and we were talking about 53k is the point. If we did lose that, it is dangerous areas, right? We were talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks. Dangerous areas. If we lost 53, we lost 53, and we absolutely slammed it down. In terms of targets to the upside right now, in terms of a level of support that we do need to get over here, I would really be looking for 53k. If we can get above 53k, then there's going to be a lot more positivity, a lot more hope in the air for us there, to basically be coming up and hopefully reclaiming this lovely juicy uptrend coming through here, because this whole scenario here, it looks like quite clear manipulation, right? And if this is going to be clear manipulation there, we can basically, in a sense, invalidate that from our trends sort of pattern here, and then we could be looking at higher prices coming through. I want to say higher prices, guys. I mean, first things first, we've got to get over the all-time highs without falling off a cliff, right? Which is obviously going to be really, really hard in terms of the climate and how cryptocurrencies are reacting to everyone at the moment, right? So we could be looking for higher prices of the all-time high, and that's obviously, if we can get above that, the next trend lines, the next major trend lines from the previous all-time highs there, we're going to be looking at around 83,000 to get over. If we can get over that, then we could be looking at around 90k. The rumor of 100k by the end of the year, never going to happen, guys. It's very, very, very unrealistic, unless we get like a humongous investment, right? Which is very, very highly doubt that's going to happen. But yeah, overall, not too bad for Bitcoin, I would say. Even with this insane dump to the downside here, even on the weekly, guys, this is still healthy, right? It's still healthy. You can see this trend up. We've obviously got this absolute low coming through from here around obviously 2017, then 2018, then we've obviously got the March crash, and then we've got another higher low coming through here. So yeah, these are actually just higher lows being created, and that's probably what we are going to be seeing here, guys. A higher low be created, and then bullish momentum continue, right? So yeah, I just wouldn't be too worried here. I'd start to really get worried if we started to lose this trend line here around 35k there, and we actually started to come down to like 30k, that sort of area there. Obviously, we do have huge horizontals coming through from there in terms of a level of support, but yeah, this is where I get worried, guys. This is where I'd start to get worried, because then we could see some sort of reverse in the trend coming down like that, and then we can talk about areas of around 18k and stuff like that. But at this point in time, it's nothing to worry about. Yes, we had a huge dump. Yes, we saw billions of dollars get liquidated, right? In terms of leverage positions and all of that stuff, but it's still absolutely fine. It's still a higher low. We still haven't invalidated this high low here on the weekly chart, so we still actually have room for growth here. We still have room for growth. Maybe not all-time highs as of yet, but testing all-time highs, yeah, that's definitely a chance there, and obviously testing previous all-time highs before we do get to that sort of level there. But overall, I would say bullish here for Bitcoin here on the weekly. In terms of the daily, right, we are yeah, in terms of the daily, we're looking a bit bearish because we have broke this trend to the downside, right? We have broke this uptrend to the downside, right? But as I was saying there, in a reflection of the weekly, it's still absolutely fine in terms of the position of where we are, and we're actually above this sort of consolidation sort of area here. This little grey box, grey box zone that I've drawn in there, and you can see actually the momentum that we can get off this zone multiple times actually. So yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see how this does actually plan out here for Bitcoin. As I said, I'm pretty long across the board here, across multiple indicators and all that stuff. So so yeah, it's not looking too bad. I would expect 53K to actually get tested, probably within, if everything goes if everything goes to plan, within the next I'll probably say within the next 4 days, right? Within the next 4 days, I would expect 53K to actually get a test. We probably due some sort of minor pullback right now because we have nearly had 3 days of green candles. So yeah, when we have that sort of momentum, you can see 2 days we have a bit of a pullback, 2 days pullback, 1 day. As you can see, we had 3 days pullback and then another further 2 days there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this does actually plan out there. But yeah, not too bad overall there for Bitcoin. I would say if we are going to consolidate, or whether we are going to actually see progression to the upside here, this is going to be something to be looking out for on the RSI. As you can see, we've got a pretty strong trend line coming through. As you can see here, we were looking for the touch point before obviously the insane crash to the downside, right? If we are going to consolidate here for Bitcoin, this is obviously going to be bringing the RSI up, as well as the price action moving up as well. It's going to be bringing the RSI up. So this is definitely a reversal point that we can be looking for the future there for Bitcoin. That's pretty much Bitcoin summed up there, guys. Yeah, pretty much Bitcoin summed up. Let's bring up some moving averages and the volume weighted ATR and have a little look at that. We got volume profile visible range to look at as well, actually, because you can see actually the support that we're getting below us around 49,000. So yeah, to get below 49K now is actually pretty bad, right? I don't think it's going to happen, right? You can see the support that we have here. You can see the gray box zone that I was talking about, and you can see actually this this empty space sort of area here, this empty space sort of area. So yeah, there's definitely room for growth up to 53K here, guys. So yeah, looking quite progressive here on the volume profile visible range there on the daily. And what was the other one? Volume weighted ATR bands. Let's have a look at them on the daily. We're still miles away from the top side, and the lower side is sat at around 32K. So if we do actually fall off a cliff here, then it's absolutely fine. We've definitely got catch points, as you can see here, guys. Multiple catch points that we have found along this zone. So yeah, this is definitely a support point to be looking out for, and that is going to correlate very nicely with this trend line coming up as well, this upward sloping support line. So yeah, overall, not too bad for Bitcoin. But yeah, that is going to be your Bitcoin update today.